Yay! No. Yay! Let me see if the Yay! Yep, it's okay. Right. We're on Zoom, we're on the tube. Everything's hopefully the audio is okay. Let me know if it's not in the chat box, please. I'm assuming it's okay. So hi, welcome to the stream. So yeah, I can't do Thursday at the minute, so I'm gonna do it the day before. So Wednesday, same time, 5:00 p.m. UK. But just the day before. Hopefully you can still join on a Wednesday. So welcome to the stream. You can still join in the Zoom. The Zoom is open for you to join. Before I start the introduction, the link is in the description underneath, or in the box below the video. It's also on my Facebook page pinned to the top and on the website. It's the same link each week, so it's easy to join. I'm a little bit hot, but I don't want to take my jumper off. No, I shan't. So the title is Non-Duality, of course. Non-duality isn't logical. Non-duality isn't logical. And that's a huge, huge thing, an important thing in non-duality to point out. I was inspired to title this stream that because somebody was talking about how they found it a bit confusing, non-duality, or spiritual teachings confusing, and it just it just sparked in me a passion. Sparked a passion in me to speak about that, because I understand how it is frustrating on the level of the intellect to try to understand non-duality specifically. And with them saying how difficult it was to understand, it really struck me and reminded me of the experience that was had. Because I feel like I have a very logical brain. I'm very logical. I like logic. Most of us like logic. It makes sense. This equals this. This. Like, I have a strong logical mind. I like to understand things. I like to work things out. I like to make sense of things, make pictures of things. So I am very logical. I like to have lists of everything. I like logic. I like that. But it really struck me when they said that, and I remembered how difficult it was in hearing non-duality as it like began to like sink in on some level, sink in more and more, that this wasn't in the mind. It wasn't going to be this equals this. Like in maths, it's very much 2 + 2 = 4. It's very much this is the rule, this is the outcome. It's very, very fixed. Whereas English, for example, is more frustrating for me because it's very much creative. It's more without limits. It's very much open. So yeah, like the mind was very much about 2 + 2 = 4. Simple. 4's the answer. This is the answer. This is the the result, and that's that. And yeah, non-duality was like, it really kind of sparked that memory of like this not being that, this not being that. And it really is like because it's like I remember as well, like a fuse blowing in my head, a fuse going like blowing, because it was beyond itself. The mind likes to understand and work things out, but this is beyond itself. And so it it can't cross that final bridge. It can't cross that final equals. It can't get to that, and that is like maybe frustrating, but also really, really profound. Really, really profound. Really, really profound. That this isn't in the mind. What's being spoken about isn't in the mind, isn't in the intellect, isn't in 2 + 2 = 4. It isn't in that world, that logical world. And so obviously it's frustrating. It can be frustrating. It can be confusing for the intellect that believes it can work this out. It can make sense of this, make a formula of this, make a picture of this. It is beyond that. It is outside of that. And there's massive freedom in that. There's massive freedom in that. We believe often that the mind is our savior. The mind will save us. Because often we use our intellect to solve problems. So we have so much faith and belief and investment in the mind to work things out and save us. But there's a real freedom beyond the mind, beyond the intellect. The mind can be a prison of ideas and meaning, and right and wrong. But there's a real freedom outside of that. And it's not outside of that in time and space, like outside of that over there. It's right here. Even the word here appears in this. It's right here. An impossibility of the mind to reach this. an inability of the mind to get hold of this. To know this, to know what this is. It can know it in its own concept, its own idea, its own picture of it, its own meaning of it. But that's not it. That's not it. It's another appearance out of this. Another form out of this. And so it can feel really scary and frightening to begin to hear this. To lose what you believe is true, to lose your ideas about this, about what is happening, about who you are, who the other is, what the world is. Because you were built up on these ideas. You were built up on these ideas, these forms of mind. And so it feels scary to switch over. That is what is deeply wanted, this switch over. Switching over to what you are, to what this is. this switching over. So all this stress and the effort to try to achieve something or reach somewhere that doesn't actually exist. This idea of this future place doesn't exist. And so to recognize what this is, or what you are, or what this is to change everything, is to find home, is to find peace. That doesn't mean, like, as a human living in the world, in day-to-day life, that there isn't war. There is still war. There is still pain. But peace or freedom beyond what is happening. What seems to be happening beyond that. Peace beyond. Peace beyond experience. And this is what is profoundly different about non-duality. Is that this isn't about what's being pointed to and described, isn't about having the perfect experience, being a perfect person. Being a holy person. That's what's so radically profound and beautiful about non-duality. Is that what's being spoken about and pointed to is something that is beyond the person completely. The freedom beyond this idea of you, this idea of someone, this idea of time. That doesn't mean there's not living as a human. Living as a human. There's pain and pleasure of a human. There's achievement, there's working on, there's improvement as a human. It's healing as a human. It's relationships as a human. What is being pointed to is always who. Is always who. And that's a really annoying question. I remember. It's a really annoying question. Who? Because the intellect wants to get hold of it and wants to get the answer. It wants to say who equals and put the answer. The non-duality is just trying to point beyond this appearance of someone, this appearance of a human experience. Because the human experience, which has this I in it and this communicating as I and you and other and thing, as the forms, can get very sticky. And it can stick as if that's a reality, as if that's the truth. So this is always pointing out the illusion of that, or rather than the illusion, the appearance of that. Or, yeah. So this isn't logical. This really isn't logical. There is a logical part to it. To communicate, you have to have some level of logic. But what's being spoken about, although using logic in the language, isn't logical. It doesn't belong in the world of logic and language and meaning. That's why it's the best frigging subject. It's untouchable. So you are welcome to ask any questions about this subject called non-duality. Non-duality. Through Zoom or through the chat box. So yeah, ask questions in the Zoom, or anybody in Zoom. Let me just check. Nope, nobody in Zoom. So you can just ask any questions you feel want to come out, want to be asked. Sitting on the other side. What's that emoji? I can't quite see it. Oh, the world, the planet. Sitting on the other side. Question mark. Well, I guess only in that image of the world, the planet. So you have the image of the planet, the blue ball with the green spaces on it. and you imagine you're on this side, and then you imagine the other person is on this side. So in that imagery, then yeah, you say you're on the other side of the planet, and I can imagine that same, well, a ball, assuming it's the same ball, and yes, I'm on this side, and you are on that side. But this is all in imagination. It's all imagined. So if you want to have a meeting or something, we arrange a time, we look at the time zone on this part of the world and this part, we try to arrange it so it's compatible. So it's good for functioning, it's good for human interaction and communication and planning, things like that. We use the imagination. It's amazing. But in actuality, that's not real. It's not real. It's only real in terms of our imagining of it. We are here, and then you ask who is here. Beautiful. This is. That's all we really ever know, is that this is. This is. Our only report can be this is. We don't know what, but this is. There's this is. This is. Thank you, Thierry, for your question. Okay, so there's no more questions coming in. Tell me how behind I am on YouTube. Okay, so thank you for joining this talk about non-duality. Yeah, I really love it. Okay, so thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.